Dulebohn, and it'll come up. Heidi began her career by breaking codes. She now teaches them. And I'm reading directly from her website, my story. And it's just so interesting. I'm just going to go ahead and take a couple minutes and read the whole thing, if you don't mind. Heidi was the first female grain trader in Conagra's history. Before that, she had a storied career at Ferruzzi and was the first ever woman to manage a major grain exporting facility in the US. Her early career taught her that understanding social codes creates opportunities. These jobs intensified Heidi's love of travel, which alongside her insatiable curiosity, she has used to continue learning about diverse societies around the world and the codes they live by. Today, Heidi dedicates her professional life to teaching American and international etiquette to those who might otherwise not have the kind of opportunities she herself has been able to pursue. Trained as an international etiquette and protocol consultant and instructor from the International Etiquette and Protocol Academy of London, England, Heidi knows etiquette is not just an act. It can provide the individual with a voice and the confidence to participate and belong. We are all inherently social. Manners really do matter. At the same time, Heidi works hard to instill greater cultural awareness among business leaders. She understands that social codes enable us to participate or see past, even break these codes. The less obvious side of etiquette is cultural and cultural curiosity and an awareness of others. Be kind, it's free. Heidi lives in Johnson City, Tennessee with her husband and two Bouvier de Flandre, and I'm going to have you correct that, dogs, where she has received many awards and accolades for her community impact, including the Tribute to Woman Award in 2019 by the YWCA of Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia, and the 2015 Tom Chase Award for volunteerism. Heidi is a graduate of Stevens College, Columbia, Missouri, and holds an MA degree with distinction from the International School of Protocol and Diplomacy in Brussels, Belgium, with a concentration in cultural competence. She has an executive certificate in nonprofit management with the Kellogg School of Management, Northwestern University, and is currently enrolled in a similar program at the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University. Heidi's infectious interest and passion to learn, participate, and appreciate the social world around us never ends. And as she likes to say, I'm not done yet. So welcome, Heidi. You have marvelous credentials, and we're delighted that you were a member of the Women's Club and that you're here today speaking to us. So thank you.
Oh,
and tell me the name of your dog. Tell me about your dogs.
Bouvier de Flandres,
Oh.
the dog of Flanders. They're big cattle herding dogs from Belgium.
Oh, wonderful.
100 pounds. Everyone needs 2 of them, which I So thank you very much. Thank you, Rolene. And Golly, I am going to make sure I work with I have a team in Chicago. I work with an agency there, and I'm going to make sure they shorten that on there. I'm sorry you had to go through that whole thing. But I am delighted to be here. When I lived in Duluth, and I loved every single minute of it, I loved the weather in Duluth. I loved the people. I loved this everything. I loved everything about being in Duluth. We left there in 2005, and we've been here in East Tennessee since, and it's just very different. This is a very beautiful part of the country, as is Duluth. It's just so much, it's just a mild climate. You know, it's 45 degrees here. We live on a golf course, and they're golfing. I can look out and see golfers. So it's, and I'm worrying about getting some weeds are popping up, having the lawn guy do some roundup, or not roundup. I'm trying to do more natural weed elimination. So it's a different kind of life, but thank you so much for having me. Having been a proud member of the Duluth Women's Club, and Candy was president when I was there, and enjoyed so many wonderful programs. I really enjoyed everyone. And so I do realize that I am sort of preaching to the choir, if you will, as they say. So please, you all are etiquette experts in your own rights, and I'm well aware of that. So please, if you have a suggestion or a correction or your opinion, I'd love to hear it. And so otherwise, shall I just start sharing the screen and diving in? Okay, well, let's just dive in. And I've prepared a little PowerPoint here, and let me just hit play. All righty, can you see that? Okay, so let me see if I can move you so I can see it. So, okay. All righty, so well, first of all, we are going to talk about when I was speaking with the committee about what would you guys like to, what would you like to hear today? And so we thought, well, maybe a little etiquette around COVID, and also maybe what you can do, what is available online. You know, we're all home right now, and there's a whole myriad of hosts of different opportunities that we can do from home. So I have a few of those here to show you today as well. So today we're going to just sort of go over some expectations, some etiquette 101. And if you would be so kind, we can make this informal or as formal if you like. We can take some questions at the end, but if you'd like, please feel free to stop and ask a question or interject a comment along the way, and we'll just keep it easy, if you will. Okay, so a little bit about me. I think you've heard plenty about me. I have started this etiquette business, and the fun thing is it's really taken off, and I am doing so many virtual events. Tomorrow I have I'm doing a proper afternoon tea for a group in Chicago, and I'm doing that from my dining room here in Johnson City. So I'm staying very, very busy through this virtual world, and it's been really a very fun journey. I'm meeting such interesting people. And through my laptop, I'm talking to people all around the world, and it's really just fascinating to me. I am credentialed to offer this program today. So first up, let's just talk a little bit about etiquette. And you probably are all familiar with this quote. Oops, and I think it's a nice one from Emily Post. So etiquette, I do a lot of working with from emerging leaders and even some students. We have a university here, as you have UMD. We have a branch of the University of Tennessee system here, East Tennessee State University. And I love working with some of the students on soft skills, basically some etiquette and what we're calling soft skills. How do you communicate? And without the ability to truly communicate and with some confidence, you're not going to get very far. So I love really especially working with the students, and I work with emerging leaders and all the way up until I've got a couple of clients that are C-suite people. So it runs the entire gambit, and I have found, interestingly, that sometimes people get to such high levels and they think, gosh, I really should have learned something about maybe how do I navigate this complicated table setting? Or I'm really not sure about introductions. What is really the etiquette or the protocol? Or I'm going to another country, or I'm on a global team. I've gotten to this high level and I'm too embarrassed to ask somebody. So they call somebody like me, and I can come in And not everybody had the luxury of growing up with a very proper English mother as I, who would rap us on little sisters and I on our knuckles if we did not hold our knife and fork properly. So not everybody had that, and I'm well aware. So it's really fun for me to offer this kind of training in a very discreet and a very private way for many people. So we were talking about etiquette during COVID. So what is etiquette? You know, there actually is popping up mask etiquette. And in a nutshell, put it on and keep it on, but properly. How many of you, you know, when you do venture out, maybe some will, you know, I will go to the grocery store here and there. You know, I've been very, very cautious myself here about going out, as I think most of us have been around the world. But when you do find that you have to go out, so many times people are not wearing the mask properly. It's below their nose. That's the one that really bothers me. It's just below the nose. I hate that. Or it's sort of like a chin warmer. Well, what good is that? And if you put it on, keep it on. Even Dr. Fauci says that, you know, this on and off thing, well, whatever your, you know, germs that we're trying to keep in or out, with all this down and out, it's just flying everywhere. So sort of remember that. That's something that people forget. So don't leave home without your mask, and sort of not your American Express card, but now your mask. And it's really about being respectful, which is just the core of etiquette. You know, I always think that etiquette is the art and protocol is the science. So it is an art, and at its core, it is about being respectful of other people, and really very similar to the golden rule. Just treat other people how you would like to be treated, just with some basic kindness and respect. But many of us find ourselves in situations where somebody is exhibiting some risky behavior. And I do a lot of radio and TV spots, and the question I get all the time is, what are you supposed to do when people are next to you and they are not wearing the mask, or they're encroaching upon your space? And what are you supposed to do? I was on Fox News in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. I'm doing ABC Sunday for them, and it was so funny because that was the question. What do you do when somebody's using risky behavior during COVID? And the little promo, the little sizzle reel they played, it was an out and out. It looked like January 6th at the Capitol. And I thought, oh my gosh, well, I can't tackle that. I can't handle that. But generally speaking, if you're out somewhere and this happened to me recently, a big box store, and I was buying one of those big filters that go on the vents in your house. And a certain weird size, I found that and I was running through there. I didn't want to be in there long. And I got this filter, found the size, and I'm in the queue to check out. And there was some fellow behind me, no mask at all. And there's signs everywhere, wear a mask to enter this store. Well, he didn't do it. And he's spouting off. Nobody can tell me what to do. I'm going, you know, this kind of stuff. And I thought, oh my God. And he's getting on top of me. So I thought, well, now am I going to turn around and normally and say, excuse me, sir, but would you please be so kind as to put your mask on? You know, would you please respect our 6 feet apart, our social distancing, please? This guy was not going to be receptive to that. You know, be careful with strangers if you don't know them, because people, I know I'm in East Tennessee and things are different regionally, but people we're all stressed right now, no matter where you live, and people they're on their last nerve, and you're just not sure. So be your best advocate and be safe. Number one, just if you feel unsafe, I was starting to feel a little unsafe. This guy he just got right up behind me and he's spouting. I thought, So how important is this air filter? And so I just left. I put the air filter down, left it near the counter, and I left. I walked out. I felt unsafe. And if you feel that way, you probably are. But if it's someone you know, or you feel you're reading the room and you feel that this situation seems to be okay, maybe they don't realize the mask is slipping down, or maybe they forgot it in their car. That happened at the grocery store the other day. Someone walked in and I was wiping off the cart. They have the little wipes there, and someone walked in and she looked at me and I said, your mask. And she said, saw yours, I forgot it. And she ran to her car. So, just be safe. Basically, if you feel that you are at risk, then say something after you've read the room. So, and I get this question all the time. So some places around the country are opening up a little bit, and people are choosing to dine in an establishment. We all want to support the hospitality industry. They've been hit especially hard. And I always advise people, if you're capable, if it's within your means, be a big tipper, especially now. But so you're out, say you've decided that you're going to go out and you're sitting down. It's like the Kitchigami Club, that lovely place. I miss that. And say you're there and you walked in with your mask, you've done everything properly, you sit down. Now, where does the mask go? Well, the etiquette that is coming out of all this is, and I'd love to hear what your experiences are. The mask goes on your lap under your napkin. And we are very careful about eating out in a restaurant. We have not done much of that yet, but people are calling me saying, okay, so I ventured out and I'm looking and everyone has their masks on the table. And I thought, well, that's not nice, because you can't even put a used utensil on the table. It stays on your plate. So you don't want this mask that's been, guarding you and keeping all the germs off on the table. So, maybe we can help spread the word that masks on your lap. Let's see, what else can we do? You just want to really stay on top of things and just be aware that everyone doesn't have your same, I like this term, COVID risk budget. What are you, how comfortable, what is your comfort zone? How comfortable are you going out for dinner in a restaurant, or going to the grocery store? Maybe you're just doing the curbside pickup. What is your COVID risk budget? And I kind of like that term because it's come in handy for a lot of people. A lot of people are being asked maybe a bit prematurely. And now we have these new variants of this disease, these new mutations. So everyone has to be even vigilant, just be very, very careful. But some people are saying, would you like to come over Sunday and watch the Super Bowl? It will just be this small group of us, less than 10. And you might think, that's just not within my COVID risk budget. And that's something you can say to someone. You can say, friend, how much I enjoy being with you and how much I'm dying to get out, but it's just not within my COVID risk budget right now to do that. I hope you understand. And I think right now to just be as open and honest as we can with our feelings about getting together or not. Actually, this just happened to me. A friend of mine here in Tennessee, she was having a milestone birthday and she threw herself a party at one of our local hotels. And she said, there's only going to be 12 people. And it was sort of a girls' party. And she said, everyone wear your favorite black dress. It'll just be 12 of us. And I just was not comfortable. I love her. I think it would have been a great evening out. It would have been so much fun to dress up and go out. But I just was not comfortable doing that. And I told her that. And it's not easy, but I called her and I said, I would love to do this, but I'm just not comfortable. It's just not within my COVID risk budget. And she was like, I get it. Sounds great. Let's get together when this whole thing's over. So I said, okay, great. So a lot of us are put in these sort of awkward positions, and then we can be a little self-reflective also and think, be careful when you're asking someone something, or if they tell you, I'm just not comfortable, then, take it in the spirit in which it's given. We're all just trying to be a little bit more open and honest right now. So let's see here. All righty. And oops. Uh-oh. I think I've got a technical difficulty here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the virtual world here and some Zoom etiquette. So believe it or not, there has been a ton of research on this. Harvard has done a ton of research, and as has Kellogg. I've got a little bit privy to some of their research, and it's really quite fascinating. And one thing that they do recommend now for either business or social, it's all sort of the data is it's pretty much it's similar. We're still dealing with people that first of all decide how many meetings do you need? Are we meeting too often? Are we not meeting enough? How long are the meetings? That kind of thing. And then when you're actually there, be sure to check your technology. Sort of check, and I'm trying to make sure mine is working here, but check it prior. A good tip that someone gave me is, how you can restart your computer or your iPad before you get on a meeting? Do that. Restart it right before you get on Zoom, and it seems to get any bugs out. And that's a good tip. Be on time. Gosh, this group was very punctual. That's impressive. Some groups aren't, and that's always annoying that you have to bring the latecomer up to speed. And you all look quite lovely. So, this at-home professional, people are getting pretty lax with some of these different things I'm doing, and I think some of the people think they can hide under a hat or something. I had a Zoom meeting yesterday with a fellow in Portland. He had a hat on and a hoodie over the hat. I couldn't see him. And I said, oh, you're in Portland. Must be raining today. Did you just come in? And he said, no, I like it like this. And I thought, okay, well, that's a little odd, but I mean, why be on Zoom? I couldn't see him. So the term is at-home professional. And speak up, not over people, obviously. And I'm big on positivity. Everything has been so negative for so long, it seems, and we could be looking at this for quite some time in the future. So try to be as positive as you can. So if you're leading these meetings, and Rolene is doing a beautiful job with this, so I don't need to give you any tips, but I can tell you that's what some of the research, the data from the research is saying is to start your meetings with a little structured, unstructured chatter, if you will. They found that it sort of brightens the mood, eases some nerves. If 3 minutes is the soft spot on this, which from the data, that 3 minutes of just a little quick banter, and then get into whatever you're doing, and create agendas. People are for whatever you're doing, social or business, just a little quick thing. Hey, we're just going to talk about, like the making cards. That sounds like fun. First, I'm going to introduce them. We're going to do the cards, and then we're going to have a show and tell, or whatever it is. And Kellogg has done some terrific research about creating a charter. So whatever meetings, like your meetings, that the charter will, this is how the meetings will run. First 5 minutes is this, we get everyone in, and it's all, no questions. This is how we work it. If we want to talk, if someone wants to speak, we use the raise hand button, or something that the HR department at Twitter started, and now it's a whole thing, is Elmo, in capital letters. And some people use Elmo, they think of the character in Sesame Street. And sometimes people will even in meetings hold up a picture of Elmo and they get it. Or in the chat, at the bottom there, you can do chat. People will say Elmo. Elmo is an acronym and it means enough. Let's move on. So you can say, okay, you're getting off topic, you're going on too long, Elmo. So enough, let's move on. So that's a good one. And that is widely used around the business world. I like that one. And remember to be inclusive. There has been some really interesting data that introverts are having their day, that a really good leader of these virtual meetings has the agenda, they have a charter, and they go through and give everyone the opportunity to contribute. And it's orderly and it's great, because sometimes the introverts, terrific idea, I just don't have the confidence, I just don't want to interrupt, I just don't want to bring it up. And that happens a lot in global teams, especially with some Asian cultures, that it's just not natural to just blurt out. Americans, we tend to not have a lot of trouble with that. But, so culturally, you have to be a little bit aware also. And the rest, I think are kind of obvious. So, and just remember to thank your teams and thank your groups too for coming. Everyone makes an effort to attend the meetings, no matter if they're just for fun or it's a little more serious. I just think that a little positivity and a little gratitude right now is just something that we could all really use a lot more of. All righty, so let's keep moving on. So now this whole virtual world we're in, and gosh, I'm really living in it, and it's so strange, it's so foreign, and all of us are living in this. And golly, it wasn't that long ago, a year ago, I'd never been on Zoom a year ago. And well, now there had a lot of people. Do you know that in December of 19, 10 million people a day use Zoom, 10 million in December 19. By April of 2020, there are 315 million people every day on Zoom. So on some sort of meeting platform, Google Meets, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, all of these different virtual platforms, there's 550 million people around the world a day are on one of these things. And you just think it's just staggering. And the money that the fellow at Zoom, I think he deserves every dime of it. Good for you. It's really kind of fascinating. So let's talk a little bit about what can you do. I think of my mom, God rest her soul. I really wish she were alive. She loved being on her computer, and she did a lot. Her health wasn't very good. She couldn't leave the house a lot, but golly, there's so many neat things now. I just wish she could have lived to take advantage of some of these things, because right from home, we can travel, if you will. That I don't know if you have a favorite travel group or cruise line or something, but I can tell you for Viking, I've been on Viking many times, a lot of times with Jan Biga, my friend, and a Viking does a marvelous job. They have something called Viking TV, and they have a live event every single day. And they have something, Mondays, it's whatever day, Wednesdays, every day is geared to something different. And it's just terrific. And most of these different travel groups have these kinds of things. So if you have a favorite, and they're all free, you do not need to have sailed with them before or anything. You can just get on their websites, and I have a few links for you to do these kinds of things. Viking has some great stuff. I do quite a bit of those. Crystal has something called Crystal at Home. And they also have daily things, and they're terrific. Every Sunday, Crystal has a fellow that cooks. He is one of the big chef for Crystal Cruise Lines, John Aston. And it's marvelous, this stuff. You get the recipes before, you can cook along, and he's kind of a neat guy. So it's sort of just really fun to do. Um, if and You can see so many great videos of where you want to go or where you would like to, we're all sitting here thinking, if you're like me, okay, where's the first place I'm going the minute I can get on a plane and go abroad again? The list keeps growing. I don't think I'm probably going to get off a plane. I just cannot wait to start traveling again. So it's fun to get on all these different travel organizations, and they have, let's go down the Danube today, the upper Danube or the lower Danube or whatever. So if travel is not your thing, maybe it's arts and culture. And it is marvelous what is available. Google has something called Google Arts and Culture, and it is magnificent. They cover everything you can think of, all mediums of art. And you can watch some live performances, you can watch recorded things. It is myriad what they offer, and it's free. That's what I think is just so super neat about it. The museums, my mother, God rest her soul, as I said, she died in 2012, and she was going to she would say, I'm going to the museum. Every Saturday she toured a different museum from her computer. And they were kind of staccato. It would be like, it wasn't smooth, and you'd see maybe a couple of pictures, what they were going to show people that were kind of shut in. And so that was all those years ago. Well, the technology has really advanced, and there are different museums. You name a great museum around the world, they all have some terrific virtual tours, and they're different. Some you can sort of enter the museum, and through your cursor, you can go left or right, or they'll have different things, what's on right now. This is the exhibit. I can tell you the Art Institute in Chicago has been closed, but they're opening up next week. So some museums are just now reopening, and that's only just going to get better. And there's something called Museum Next that has all of the great museums in the world. You can go to one website and tour all over, and they keep changing them, which is, I think, the beauty of it. So you don't have to just say, well, I was at La Hermitage last Sunday, I don't want to go back there. Well, they're constantly changing what you can see. So that is it's great. I just went to the British Museum. That's one of my favorite places. And if you've ever been there, oh my golly, I'd hate to do inventory at the British Museum. It's, endless, but I can look at the Lewis chess set or the Rosetta Stone. I can do all of this from right here in Johnson City, Tennessee. So, it's really marvelous, this technology. And it's without cost, which I think is terrific. Now, there are things that you can pay for, of course. There's something called Eventbrite, Bright, one word. You have to pay for those things, and some are as little as $10, and some are as much as $500. But I think there's so many neat things that are offered out there. People have put together because of COVID that why pay for something? And then the learning. So many universities are offering free courses. I do something now. I did pay for this. It wasn't a terrible fee. I'll tell you what, it was worth every penny. Is master class, and it is endless. I love this. It's on my computer, and you do the class, and they're like, an hour-long classes, and there may be 6 in some, 10 in another, maybe 3 in one. And these are top people in their fields around the world. I'm a huge fan of Anna Wintour, and Anna Wintour has one, and she talks about building confidence in her career and all this kinds of stuff. Marvelous. I just did one with Gordon Ramsay, the chef, and I'm cooking along with him. So you have to pay for that, but Masterclass is absolutely terrific. And like Coursera, I did a course on Coursera that was free. So some of these are, free, some of those cost money, but and with your alma maters probably offer something as well. It's amazing how many things that are out there, and they're interesting, and it's another way to connect with other people. Now, Masterclass, it's just me. They're recorded. When I feel like it, I watch one. But some of these other formats, there are other people like we are on Zoom, and you can actually meet. And one thing I just was got a request this very week, today's Friday, this week, for a group. It's a membership group, and they're doing a lot of virtual events, and they've asked me to do a little class to help people connect. So say we're all on this screen, and maybe you don't know each other very well, but you'd like to. Well, you'll say, well, gosh, somebody's place, gee, Jan Biga's home looks really cool. I'd like to know more about her. It looks great. Well, then maybe you can, how do you connect with the people that these faces you're seeing on Zoom? Everybody's a little square. How do we do that? So I'm working on that, but that's something people are asking for. Getting together, learning something's great. Now I want to connect with these people. I want to reach out and safely, in not sort of a creepy, weird way. So how do you do that with strangers? Food and wine, endless what is out there. It's absolutely endless. The California wine growers have some really neat stuff. It changes all the time. Little tours, wine tastings, if you're into that. Instagram, I don't know if anyone does Instagram, but Instagram has something called Instagram TV, IGTV. And there are videos on that, and you can search about anything, and they're at least over 60 seconds or 61 seconds up to an hour. And there are some marvelous courses and just interesting things on Instagram, because I'm not crazy about Instagram, but looking at some of these neat courses is really fun there. And then of course, like many of you do, exercise online, join a yoga class or do something like that. And then to me, some other things that, you can volunteer right from home around the world. And I've just listed a few here that just to sort of whet your appetite a little bit. Of course, volunteering, again, what's in your COVID risk budget? Are you willing to go down to help someone at the Salvation Army? Or is that just, I'm not quite there yet. I don't feel safe enough to do something like that, but I'd like to help someone. And if you are looking, there are incredible things that are available for people.
Heidi, we're not seeing we aren't seeing your PowerPoint. We're just seeing that.
Oh.
If you're changing, we just see the opening slide. We haven't been seeing the slides.
You haven't been seeing any slides?
No, just the opening one.
Oh, no.
And I didn't know if you were doing that intentional. I didn't want to cut in, but when you said, okay.
Oh my God. It says you're screen sharing.
Yeah, we can see that, but I think you have to move from one to another.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So you're not seeing any of these slides?
Now we do.
Yeah.
Now we are. Now we're saying, remember, stay safe, stay smart.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh my gosh. And I did all these slides for you. Oh,
I'm
check
sorry.
your technology.
I was going to speak up sooner, but I didn't know if you.
Oh, you're kidding. I'm terribly sorry. I wonder what happened. I'm terribly sorry about that. But you can see it now?
Yes.
Oh, well, I bet you thought, boy, she's going on and on.
No, I thought maybe.
just stop me. Yeah, let's just make this informal. Golly, and I could not tell by your faces either. I didn't get any strange looks. Well, oh, well, there you go. Okay, the virtual world is endless opportunities to fail here, I think. I'm so sorry. Okay, Zoom etiquette. Well, let's just go through. Well, I had a whole bunch for you here. Well, in one way, you were saved from having to look through all these. These were the virtual experiences. Okay. And
You didn't move. You haven't moved to another slide.
okay, I have no idea why that's doing that.
Now there's the virtual experience. Okay.
Okay.
Might have to do them manually instead of pushing play or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, well, let's just try this next one then. Do you see this?
Give back virtually. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, if you can see that, gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't know. But is it taking up the whole screen or is it just a little?
It's not enlarged here, but
Oh, let's enlarge that. Okay, tell me if you can still see it because I've got.
yeah.
I have no idea because it's still showing I've been sharing this for 57 minutes and 53 seconds. Oh.
But just the first slide. Now we see
No,
the volunteer.
Okay, I was just going on about Mr. Yuan from Zoom. Well, I take it back. I think I want my money back. Okay, so, okay, well, all right. Well, giving back virtually. Okay, so here are some really neat things to check into. When you have a little extra time, look into these. And I told Rolene, if there's any interest, I'll send you these last slides. Maybe I'll send you the whole thing so you can see, I actually did prepare one. The United Nations, they have a marvelous volunteer opportunity for virtual volunteers. And they need people to do, you name it, you could do it with them. They have, I've done a couple of them and they're just fantastic. Anything from, say, maybe you have another language, then you can offer to be a translator for people. You can help read. Right now they're looking for native English speakers to read, help children in India. There are 4 different spots at the moment, last night when I checked, that you can do this from home and help these children in India or anywhere. I mean, it is countless opportunities to give back from home, which is something I just thought was neat. Another one that is, and these are all highly rated. I've double checked with all the credentialing bodies. These volunteer opportunities are like I said, very highly rated. Another one that I think is really neat is something called Be My Eyes. This is for people that are blind or have very low vision, and a volunteer can connect with them, and you get an app on your phone, and through your phone, you can, they'll text you. Okay, and your person will text you and they have that all worked out. So it's not an invasion and, they've figured all that stuff out. And they can say, okay, it could be something as simple as they hold their phone up to maybe a prescription pill bottle and say, I can't read this. Could you help me? What does it say? Or it could be something even more, I'm trying to do something else. I can't see this. Could you please read this? Help me with that. And it's a really good feel back for someone. That is a really neat way to help somebody from home. And it's a great organization. And another one that has some very interesting opportunities is the Smithsonian. They are looking for, they call them digital volunteers. And they have, golly, they must have probably warehouses full of documents, journals, maps, all sorts of things. And they are trying to get all this enormous amount of materials that they have more available. So people can transcribe them. You can maybe scan some things, and it's just endless what you can do with the Smithsonian. And they have other opportunities besides that too, but it's really a neat thing. And through lots of these volunteer organizations, it's a neat way to connect with other people that are outside, outside your home, which, few of us are connecting with many people right now. So it's kind of a nice way to be connected. And then a site, if you're looking for a very credible site to go to look for endless opportunities, is something called Volunteer Match. They're kind of considered the world leader in this genre to connect people, and they are looking for people all ages, all kinds of opportunities to work with people. So that is that. And gosh, I'm so disappointed in these slides. I have to figure this out. What happened here? It says,
But
wait,
if I could just say, you did an excellent job of explaining what was on them, even though we couldn't see them. We listened to you, so that was good.
well, I'm sorry. It says sharing is paused. Bring your shared window to the front. Okay. All righty. And here are the, can you see this slide? This is listing the resources.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Sharing is paused. Bring your shared window to the front. Okay. Well, let's see. Do you see this? Resume share. Oh, it's kicking it off for some reason. Resume share. Huh. I have no idea why that is. Why would that do that? I just, well.
Yeah, we can see your screen, but only if you change slides manually.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to manually do that. So let me get back out and let me go back here and see. Now I'm screen sharing.
Volunteer resources.
Yeah, that's so strange. Okay, so let's see here. This was the slide that I had hoped to send to Rolene, that if you were, with these opportunities, where to go for this, Be My Eyes, and how to do that. I will send that to Rolene. Well, I'm going to stop the screen since that was a bit of a bust. Oh my goodness. Apologies for that. That was a learning lesson though, because I'm on my main computer I normally use. The internet was acting up a little bit, and this laptop seemed to have a better connection, but now there's something funny with the Zoom. So I'll have to look into that. So heartfelt apologies for the lack of slides. That's not great. So very sorry. But any questions?
That was very good. Good ideas. Thank you.
Is anyone volunteering? Are you doing anything from home, or have you thought about doing anything like that? Or how are you staying connected?
I do exercise from home.
That's nice. Yeah, that's great.
We've been doing, the Women's Club is doing a food drive this month, and before the holidays, they did mittens and hats. We put a box out and people drop by, and then we have a committee that delivers things. And we did work up at the food bank. And when was that? I forgot when that was. Before Christmas, where we were socially distanced, wearing masks and gloves, and we loaded up boxes. That's when we were still able to get out here in Duluth.
And we did bell ringing for the Salvation Army.
Bell ringing, yeah.
Oh, that's nice, because they needed it this year. Yeah.
Some of you are muted. I might have muted you, so you want to check.
Okay, we made face shields.
That's right.
Wow.
We
And
got great
Rosemary, Rosemary, you did a wonderful job with a bizarre bazaar, bazaar. And that was online. The items were online. We could bid on them online. And so Rosemary headed that up. Everybody contributed in some fashion. So that was good.
So we
Oh.
made $3,000. So that's very
That's
good.
a lot. Yeah, that's great. Well, it
And
sounds like you're doing a great job of staying connected and helping people while you're doing it.
My Rotary Club meets every week on Zoom. And so that's been good. We have a very good turnout, and then we plan a few socially distant events once in a while, like over in the park or helping out with, they had a big ice festival last week. So it's working out. It's a big adjustment from meeting in person, but it's working.
Mhm.
Well, we might be doing this for a while.
Really? Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
I
One
just,
of the things that I love doing is going to church on the internet.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a neat thing,
yes.
Sylvia. That's really tough.
I thought I went kicking and screaming, thinking this is not going to work, but I discovered I can sing at the top of my lungs, and I can cry if I want to, and I can drink coffee.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think I zoomed in or not zoomed in, I tuned in for a midnight mass at Christmas. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Well, you've all figured it out. Deepest apologies. Oh my gosh, I feel terrible. Those slides didn't work, and I thought they all looked so good. You missed them. Isn't that how it goes sometimes? Sometimes it just like, oh, that's not how I saw it. But anyway, well, apologies to you for the technical issues. And I've got to find out. I'm going to call the Zoom and get on with somebody there, because I need to figure out why was that like that.
Lucy,
Lucy has a question. Oh, you sorry. Okay.
How about if that was a good, presentation, Heidi. I'm running or putting things on the website. So how about if you send us a copy of your PowerPoint, and I can put that on our website, if you're okay with that? Would that be okay?
Well, that's very kind of you, that you'll know that I actually did it. Yeah. So
No, but I mean, others can see it. I'm just saying others.
Well, thank you, Lucy. And
Yes.
the links are there if you want.
Yeah.
You could link to anything.
Yeah, and in 2 weeks, I'm going to talk about technology with how to do things, and that'll be one of my examples.
But I'm just going to ask you, because I know that they're going to say to me, was I a co-host, Rosemary, or not? I know.
that shouldn't make any difference.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to say that I was not, but it said I was sharing that screen that whole time, but I really wasn't. So yeah. So something.
I'm thinking it was something with your computer. That's what I would say, that it was when you hit play instead of, so it's trying to play the whole thing is what I'm guessing. Instead of going, how when you do PowerPoint, you just have one slide at a time. That's what I would guess.
Lucy, I'm just reading your chat there now.
I know I did. I didn't want to interrupt. I could tell. I sent you a chat saying.
That was very kind
Not
of you.
working.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
But I didn't want to interrupt. But anyway, it didn't matter.
Interrupt. Oh, golly. See, you go, talk about an etiquette lesson. You're also so incredibly polite. No one interrupted me to say, oh, by the way, we don't see anything. Oh, well,
We've had so many technology issues that it's like, whatever. Right? And we all got it. We understood.
Well, I appreciate your flexibility and your accommodating and your very gracious demeanor here with me today. So thank you. And I wish you all a wonderful rest of the winter. I hope it goes by quickly, and it's spring in Duluth, and it's all beautiful as it is. So thank you very much.
And
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Clap.
Bye.